don't tell me to shut up. This is an impromptu podcast because I am fucking sick and tired of Schmeagle. And so I thought, why not hop on here and talk about it? You're welcome.
Can you tell the people who Schmeagle is?
I was going to get to that, but you got to let me warm up. I'm trying to warm up and ease into this, and you won't let me be great. Well, first of all, let me tell you about my current situation.
What's your current situation?
My current situation is... What is my current situation? My current situation is I have been text dating this guy. And I feel like there should be a point when it comes to text dating that it either moves to a landline, which we all know doesn't exist, or at least move to verbal conversation, or there has to be a point that you say, this really ain't going nowhere. I'm wasting your time and you're certainly wasting mine. Piss or get off the pot.
Are you dating a Generation Z person?
No. He's in my generation. But that's what I don't understand. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so we have this, it started on social media in my DMs.
Okay. I see people sliding through there. I see you.
So that's where it started.
Okay. It
moved to text conversation, like phone. Yes. And so in my mind, the natural graduation, right?
Right.
Kindergarten, junior high school, college. So in my mind, I'm thinking social media, DM, text messages. Let's get together and see what's popping. That hasn't happened.
So why don't you...
it should never start with why don't I?
No, I'm saying...
The conversation should be, why doesn't he? Why did you put it straight on me? That's the problem.
No. I'm not putting it straight on you. I just feel
you did say, why don't you?
I wasn't going to say nothing extravagant. I was going to say, why don't you just drop some hints like call me or something like that?
But that's the same thing. That's putting the onus on me. If you a whole grown ass man, I shouldn't have to drop hints, French fries, or jelly beans. You should know exactly what the hell comes next. Pick up the fucking phone and call me. If nothing else, to surprise me. To say, hey, you know, what's going on? Good morning.
Hey,
good morning. Yeah. Right. Because listen. If I'm a dude, I meet a chick. I don't actually meet her on social media, but I meet her in person. Then we begin to follow each other on social media. We chit chat via social media. I DM her like, hey, can I get your number?
Right.
Right. If I'm a dude.
Right.
Even if I'm a chick, but I'm just saying, especially if I'm a dude. And I DM you, and now we're texting and we're giggling. Well, I'm giggling and kikiing. He's just, whatever. And it's good conversation. If I'm a dude, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna shock her or shock the shit. If I really want her,
right.
I'm gonna shock the shit out of her. And instead of DMing her, good morning, I'm gonna call her and fuck her up. Be like, good morning. Like, call me this morning. Ooh. Right? If I'm a girl and I'm really into a dude and I made the first move, which I would not really do because I like to see what you made of. So I like to see what you got rather than me shooting my shot. Not that I'm above that, because Lord knows I possibly would. But in this case, the game had already begun.
Got it.
We can't switch up now and I become the king and you become the queen. We already started. You started as a king. You got to start how you finish.
What is it about people? Like, do you think people were always scared of talking on the phone, and because that was the only option they did it, and now that they have another option, they feel like, let me just text? Because I feel like people just don't want to have phone conversations anymore.
I think it's convenience. I think people have gotten so used to whatever is convenient and what now fits into my schedule. As opposed to, there was a time where if you really wanted someone or something,
right,
your schedule didn't get in the way. You made room for it, right? If you needed to go to the grocery store, you got your ass up off the sofa and went to the grocery store.
Right.
If you wanted to go to a concert, you got your ass up off the sofa and went and bought concert tickets. But now everything is convenient. Everything is on the phone. We Instacart, we Amazon shop, we text instead, happy birthday, instead of calling and giving that personal touch of saying, happy birthday. Now it's a text message. And I don't know what the fuck tone you said in there. Happy birthday, bitch. Happy birthday, bitch. Happy birthday, bitch.
This person is a horrible person.
Bitch.
I'm still saying
I don't know how you said it.
Yeah.
So I think that that's what I think has happened.
Yeah.
And now I think in this new fangled world of dating, it's just become confusing.
Yeah, I remember talking on the phone till like it was time to go to school.
Well, you was in high school then. The fact that you had to go to school was different, man.
Yeah, but still, I was still on the phone till.
You cannot compare how you dated in high school and how you date as a grown-ass woman, because conversations were different. Number two, if you're on the phone for hours, your ass ain't got no job. And we all have responsibilities.
No, I got you.
So I would at least like to say, even if you didn't go back as far as high school, right? Because, I mean, come on, it's been a long time since you've been in high school. Think about the times when you met somebody at a club or at a coffee shop or whatever, and they courted you.
Right.
And it doesn't require, calling all the time or sending flowers and all of that shit. But they called you every now and then. It's, let's meet up.
Mm-hmm.
Meet me down the block. What you doing tonight?
Yeah.
Say that, but don't go all the way back to high school.
I
you
was
PJs on, laying on your belly, kicking your heels together. Come on, stop.
I was speaking of a time where text didn't exist. That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to go back to that time. I like text messaging. I just don't like text messaging 100%. If you are attempting to get to know somebody. Because let's face it, text messaging is convenient as fuck. You need it. Running late, K. See you soon, K. Right? Like it's convenient. So I think it's a necessary evil. But I think when you are considering a relationship, fucking around, whatever we want to call it, then I think you got to pick the phone up. You got to work for it. I need some sweat equity, baby. And if you just texting using your thumbs,
I'm with you.
Anyway, that's my current
Make
situation.
sure you give her a call, DM guy.
You better call me quick. I'm just saying. No, I don't know. I'm just trying to work my way through it and try to be patient and try not to be.
I'm proud of you.
I don't know. It is what it is. But anyway, so here's the thing. I have always believed in whatever deserves to be in the light will be.
Right.
The more light that you give something, the more it lives. Whether it is a personal problem, like this gnat that just flew over me. Where's the stage manager? Oh, fuck.
She off today.
That's me. But, I'm the stage manager. Damn. Whether it's professional, whether it is personal, in your life, it could be, a family situation. The more attention, i.e. light you give it, the bigger it grows. I feel as though we have come at a crossroads with he who shall not be named, which is what I've dubbed him, which also refers to someone else in my life. But, and if I must name him, his name is Schmeagle. Very much as in the other situation, his name is Beetlejuice. But for the purposes of this conversation, he who shall not be named is Schmeagle. And in case you're wondering who Schmeagle is, he is the person from The Lord of the Rings. Now, to bring it closer to home and give you hints, because I refuse to say his name, because I am not trying to give him any more light than he already thinks he deserves. He's had several huge hits. He's got trash bags full of clothes that used to be available in the Gap, but no more. He put on a fashion show in mud. I don't know. Mm-hmm. He's decided to team up with the devil's spawn. There's so many things I could say. He's had liposuction, even though he knew the risk, considering his mother died from that.
He had liposuction?
Yes, you didn't know that?
No.
Yes, he had liposuction and had the whole nerve to talk about one of the editors at Vogue and talk about how fat she was. Maybe she couldn't afford to get her fat sucked out the way you did. Right. And maybe she's happy with the way that she is. Who the hell are you to even criticize her? I think we know who we're talking about.
I think we know.
But again, in my mind, and from this day forward until Jesus walks, he is forever Schmeagle. Now, I'm sure you've seen Lord of the Rings. If you have not, Schmeagle, very much in the same case as this person, had a whole life, had a whole family, was an upstanding citizen in the Shire. Okay? Had a great life. Traded all of that in for a gold ring that he called precious. My precious. And it meant the world to him. So much so, he sold his soul. So he could no longer come out in the light. He has to live in the dark and miry, in the wet darkness of the swamps and shit. And will do anything it takes for this ring. Lie, cheat, steal, lie, slander. He doesn't care. He just wants this golden ring so bad that it has basically just completely consumed him. Nothing else matters. Nothing. Right? And so I feel as though if we could stop giving oxygen to this inferno and this fire and brimstone, I think it will just simply dissipate.
Why do you have examples of everything that you talk about?
Because I was born in the time of cholera. I don't know. I just do. It's how my mind works. I don't know what to tell you.
Who comes up with this thing?
I don't know, but it hit me right away. I was like, oh my God, he's fucking Schmeagle. And if you see Schmeagle, his whole appearance has changed because he can't go out into the light anymore.
Isn't the one that just died?
Schmeagle didn't die.
Oh, there was one character.
He was from Harry Potter.
Oh.
This is Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Lord of the Rings. That's right. Oh, Lord of the Rings.
You know, Gandalf the white, Gandalf the gray.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Harry Potter ain't got nothing to do with
Okay,
Schmeagle.
my bad.
Yeah. But I mean, they're both from the Shire. Perhaps they are adjacent. I'm sure somewhere in the storyline, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings might meet up at the local bar in the Shire. I don't know.
You should write that. That's a good, by the franchise.
Only problem is there are no black folks in the Shire.
You can make it happen.
I'm just saying. So, and the writer of that has a lock on it. Let me just tell you. Harry Potter anyway. But that was Hagrid.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I feel like, and I don't know if it's because we are all consumed in Schmeagle and his antics. I don't know if we're just so outraged by the things that he says that we feel the need to always talk about them. I just can't figure it out. Now, full disclosure, I must be completely transparent and say, I do think that there are some things that should be challenged and questioned. I have no doubt about that.
Right.
Just on what platform? Because when I think about what he is willing to sell, including what is not for sale, which is the integrity of black folk.
Right.
The struggle of black folk, not only from our ancestors, but to this day. It's not for sale. Too many lives have been lost and sacrificed, and blood has been shed, and people have given so that we might have. And so for you to ride the wave of black folk to a position that you could even be in the room with people to speak such slanderous rhetoric and bullshit, and then forget about us. Now it's like, fuck y'all, fuck George Floyd, fuck all. And in my mind, I'm thinking, do you really, in your heart of hearts, believe this? Or are you thinking that what you stand to gain means so much more than what we as a collective community have to offer?
I just think that there's, I don't know, because there is a group of people that feel like he makes sense.
Make it make sense to me. And I'm not saying that I am the almighty that you have to explain it to me. I want to understand. Because the last thing I want to do is tear another black man down when every day, all day, that happens all the time, ad nauseum, just all the time.
Right.
So I'd rather not. I was at one point very proud of Schmeagle when
Right.
you consider the very humble beginnings that he came from. The fact that his mom, did her best, worked her ass off. She was a smart woman. I mean, I watched the documentary. She did seem a little cuckoo at times, but hell, we all are at one time or another. But I think you watch what your mama went through.
Right.
You grew up in an area of town where you saw it. At one point, if I'm not mistaken, you got on the stage for the world to see, to let us know who didn't like black people. And now all of a sudden you seem to have become that person. So again, if there are people out there who believe that he has a point, all I'm asking, even if I never hear from them, you read about them, make it make sense to me. What are their points? Because he said George Floyd did not die because an officer's knee was on his neck. He died from fentanyl. What say them?
They just say that, well, not necessarily
tell me
about
what
that
they said.
comment.
What are they saying?
Not necessarily about that comment, just about, because I didn't hear anyone commenting about that.
You know why? Because it's not fucking true. And then you have the nerve to bring Virgil Abloh's name in it. What the freak does he have to do with it? You know who he looked like? A tall, bald-headed dude. He looked like Virgil Abloh. What that sounds like to me is that you're profiling. You know how many tall black dudes who are bald-headed who are out there in them streets? Yeah. A lot of them. And you're saying that somehow white people in Minneapolis thought about Virgil Abloh.
I think
from Louis Vuitton. Really? I'm going to go with no on that.
He has an obsession with Virgil.
I think he was highly jealous of him and his success. The fact that he was able to do what he could not. He was able to sell his wear on all of the most exclusive platforms in the world. Meanwhile, you're selling yours out of a trash bag in the Gap. So I could see the jealousy and the envy in that. But this dude is gone. He got a family. Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. You have kids. You have a family. When your girl was all over the place talking about you, you kept talking about, I have kids, I have a family. You have to understand, don't do this to me. And yet here you are doing the same thing to another person who also had a family.
Right.
Both Virgil and George Floyd.
Yeah.
So make it make sense to me. What are they saying in the streets? I'll drink while you talk.
Well, some people are saying that he's actually looking out for black people, and
in
that he's trying to pretty much tell the truth about what our experiences are.
But all of those,
I don't believe any of this.
Right, because I'm about to say, because you know me, I'm the journalist in me. I have to put pressure on that. So when he says what black experiences, what is he talking about? And in what way is he helping? Because it seems to me, if you say white lives matter, right, and you say Black Lives Matter is a scam, you immediately in that put white lives matter above black lives. How does that help me as a black woman raising a black son?
I mean, at first people, I think it's the same thing as Trump. Like, they say things and people try to find the deeper meaning of it, when in reality they say, no, this is what I said. And with White Lives Matter, people were trying to say that we were all missing the point. Yeah, but that's what I'm asking you. I'm trying to find the point. Like, I still don't get it. In my mind, there is no deeper meaning. It's very simple. He is trying to capitalize on the brutality and the historical systematic racism, right, and unlevel playing field of black people, the same unlevel and uneven playing field that put him in position to be in the rooms with these people. If black people had not fucked with Kanye from the very beginning, he'd have never met. You said his name. Where's the bell?
Because that was important in that point. Right. I wanted to be clear about that. If we had not fucked with him in the beginning when he was Kanye, he wouldn't be where he is now. But he took that and became Schmeagle. Because like I said from the very beginning, Schmeagle wasn't always Schmeagle. He was an actual person. Well, not really. It's really not true. The Shire doesn't exist. Don't go looking for it. Schmeagle doesn't. If you're looking for the Lord of the Rings, you ain't gonna find it now. You might find what?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah. But you ain't gonna find Lord of the Rings. But my point is the parallel of, at one point, this fictional character who is now Schmeagle because he has sold his soul, was not always that.
Right.
My belief, if you go back to the early days in which there were not reenactments, we actually got to see him struggling, trying to make it.
Right.
At that point, he was not befriending any white people. He was befriending all black people to assist him.
Right.
I also recall at one point after he made the asinine statement that slavery was a choice and Harriet Tubman didn't free nobody.
Right.
He was like, oh, I got to go back to Chicago and I got to come from the sunken place. All of those things tell me you are not crazy.
I just want to know what happened between George Bush doesn't care about black people to being a Trump supporter. What happened in between that?
But that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
I made that point earlier in saying that you were that, and now in the irony of things, you have become that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, to me, the only answer is you are an opportunist.
Yeah.
Because at that time, 2 times. The first time, he stood up and said, George Bush don't like black people. The second time, he stood up and said to someone else who was on the stage, he said, I respect what you do, but you don't deserve this award. She does.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in other words, he was saying, I don't agree with what you guys have done. I can now challenge that. And yet he doesn't want to be challenged in his way of thinking.
Right.
But he challenged an entire system that didn't choose his choice, but chose theirs.
Right.
And didn't want to be questioned about it. Felt
Right.
like I am right. I get to say this. And then came the Trump situation. Before the entire world, you knew his history like we did, even though you claim you don't read books. So perhaps you had picture pages and you were able to see it. You say,
Pictionary.
I need to go speak to him. And what do you talk to him about?
I
Spaceships.
forgot. Oh, she does.
What the hell? if I honestly believe Herschel Walker might be his daddy.
Maybe that's what happened.
I think that's what happened.
Maybe that's what happened. Or maybe his stepdaddy.
His daddy. Because back in the day, none of us knew Herschel was crazy. And I don't know if he's always been this cuckoo crazy, but maybe he, after taking a few lumps and bumps in the NFL, he's become this person.
Football would do that to you.
I mean, that's
You
what
know
they
I'm
say.
saying?
I'm just so over it. I just feel like, and even in speaking about it now on my platform, I just don't want to give him shine. And the only reason why I do it now isn't because I am trying to capitalize on using his name. It is because with every fiber of my being, I just want us, and I want to send a message. I don't want to talk about it anymore. This is it. It's got to be over. I feel like the more I woke up and he was the headline on MSNBC, CNN, Fox, he was everywhere. He gets exactly what he wants.
Right.
The light, and to be able to shine in front of a conservative audience that he is now trying to benefit from by buying this new conservative platform. What better way to do that than stir the pot, which is the most hot button issue in this country, if not the world, still George Floyd. And George Floyd has a daughter. He still has a family that I would imagine is still grieving. How dare you say, after the courts, other police officers who are trained in that field all across the country say he died because coroners.
Right.
Autopsies were performed. Yet you don't read a book. You watched the video like I did. Right?
Right.
So what the fudge? I don't get it. I don't understand it. And how would he feel if I said your mama didn't die because, she was having liposuction? She died because she knew you was a fucking idiot. That would be horrible for me to say. And he'd be ready to take me to task and to court to sue me for libel.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. And I'm just so over it. But I'm so passionate about it because I want everyone collectively to ignore him. And I think if we do, just like the fires in California, like the fires all across the world, fire cannot exist without what? You don't know, do you? You don't know?
Well, this is the part where science left me. Just say it, Smarty.
Lena. Fire cannot exist without air.
There you go. She said
oxygen. It cannot.
That's right.
Which is why
she said it.
If you light a candle, when you cover the candle, what happens?
It goes off.
It goes out.
Yeah.
I think we have to cover Kanye in darkness.
Okay. I'm down with it.
And I say him because I believe the old and the new, Kanye and Schmeagle. I think from this day forward, if I ever use his name again, it will always be Schmeagle because that's who he is to me. But I hope to never speak of him again because I think he is not worthy. I think he used us like a one-night stand. I think he made us promises like one-night stands do. The ones that are not understood from the beginning. It's one thing if you... two consenting adults decide we're going to have a one-night stand. But if you lie to me, make promises to me, and then don't make good on those, and I feel like we got to stop trusting him. Don't give him any shine. If he wants to have the shine of the conservatives, let him have that and live with them. Don't come around here fucking with us. Move on. It's above us now.
Unfortunately, I don't think people are going to stop posting him. It sucks.
You know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to post him anymore. He would have to do something absolutely... Yeah, I told you. I went on DL's platform and said, stop, take this shit down.
They came for you.
I was ready.
Do you come up with a name for the DL fans yet?
Not yet. I'm working on it. Give me another day and 2 more glasses of wine and I'll have it.
We're going to run the fan club, the DL Hughley fan club.
I just don't know. They say there is redemption for everyone. I don't know that there is redemption for him. I would like to believe the humanity in me would like to see the redemption in anyone.
Right.
Because ultimately, if you are a decent human being, you want to see everybody succeed. But I feel like much was given to him. Much. There's so many other people out there who are just as talented, who don't have the opportunities, who didn't have that, strike of luck that he had to be in the right place at the right time. And they're always doing the right things.
Right.
And still, they are not where he is.
Well, I guess means...
this is how he repays us.
I guess you're not going to enroll the kids in the Donda school.
Why would I put my kids in the school of a person who don't even read?
It's a joke.
It's a terrible joke. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. Like who tells you I don't read, but come check out this curriculum I wrote for this school. I'm gonna pass. If my kid's gonna be as dumb as you are, I'm done.
Hard one. Hard pass.
And what are you teaching? White lives matter.
Yeah, exactly. Over there with the devil's wife.
You said it. I didn't say it, but I believe it. I concur.
The irony is that I read where she apparently has sued the school that she was in for, I don't know if it was discrimination, but apparently she has some racial issues in the school that she went to.
Yeah.
And she won or something like that.
She too is not.
So what happened?
No, listen. I believe wholeheartedly you can get to a point where you feel nothing else is working for you. And you turn to the area that seems to be the most open lane. Because I can't sell you red cups if you have a warehouse full of red cups.
Right.
But if you only have 2 blue cups, I'm going to be in the blue cup making business. And I think if you look at the number of people who have become, as I like to say, turncoats, there are not that many in that factory.
So
there are not that many in that factory compared to the majority. That's why when you see a Trump rally, you see just a very few brown or black folks and a sea of white people. So what that tells me is not a lot of folks in that factory who are of color.
Right.
So if I'm trying to get ahead and all I care about is myself and not my community or not my ancestors or the tribe that I came from, all I want to do is win, and I want to experience it right now. I want the check right now. Then I go to the factory where there are only a few of me. I'm dependable. I have a red cap. I got shirts that are too tight, and I might be missing a tooth or two. I fit the bill perfectly. So I think it makes sense. It makes sense. Think about it. It makes total sense. Name me one other black female outside of Omarosa who is doing what Candace Owens is doing. I'll wait.
Nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
So why would I go into a sea of Joy Reids, Amanda Seals, Tiffany Crosses, and the dozens of other people who are fighting for equality, fighting for the cease of our black kids, men and young girls and boys being killed in these streets? Why would I go be with all of you guys? Right. All of youans. Why would I go do that when I can be over here with 2 or 3 and get paid for it?
Right. Well, I guess, but then the joke is on us then.
How?
Well, because if she's just doing this to make a bank, then she's the one laughing at us for believing whatever it is that she says.
Yeah, but the joke isn't on us. The joke is on her because she still got black kids who will now have to live in this world with this gnat that won't leave me alone, who now have to live in this world and move forward as young black people in this country that won't let them forget that they're black.
Right.
So this entire time she worked for Massa, and in the end, her children will belong to Massa.
Or maybe they're telling their kids that they're white.
Them edges gonna tell them something different. You can only go for so long, right?
Yeah. He said the edges.
It's true. You think I'm kidding? Check out anybody's edges.
They will tell you who they are.
I'm just saying. I don't even know how long I've gone. I've been talking and running my mouth for 30 minutes.
Some good stuff, though. Schmeagle.
I can't. I'm so over it. I would rather talk about Flint, Michigan.
Oh, well, that's a problem, too.
I'd rather talk about Mississippi. I'd rather talk about, as much as I hate Florida.
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about Florida. I'd rather talk about Puerto Rico. I'd rather talk about how young black men are not safe in this country. Why are we not giving all of the time necessary and required for change to stuff like that, as much as we're giving time to this self-absorbed, superficial, highly arrogant person who only cares for himself and his family?
Does he, though?
He does.
I don't think he cares about his family.
I think he absolutely cares about his children, 1,000%, because he knows they will have to carry his name on when he's gone. I believe it 1,000%. I think he fights hard for them. I think it's why he set everything up so that they will receive all of the money that he gains. I think you can find out where somebody puts their heart by where they put their money. Where is his money? In his children's name. So he cares tremendously about them. I believe that 100%. I just think that he believes what he's doing now will cover them. I think very much in the same way, at one point he clearly knew he was a black man.
Right.
And now all of a sudden he believes he's not.
What do you think? He is white?
I don't think he thinks he's white. I think he's just above blackness. I think he believes I'm the exception. I am the genius. And so therefore they treat me different. I'm the house nigga.
Yeah. Okay.
who gets treated differently than the field nigga. And of course, they've proven that to a point.
I don't think he'll be in the house though.
No, he in the house.
I mean now, but I'm saying.
No, but we ain't talking about back then. We're talking about now. We have evolved. We still got niggas, field niggas and house niggas. He clearly is still, he's a house nigga. He says what they want to say. When Massa's sick, he's sick. When Massa win, he win.
Yeah, that's true.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right. Great point. I stand corrected.
The problem is, just like history, even when you in the house, step across the line and through the door of the wrong room and see what happens. And he found that out this past week.
Why? What happened?
With the Jews.
Oh, yeah.
They was like, you fucking right. You. How about this? We finna shut all this down.
Give me your account.
The precious metals?
Yeah.
You cannot mess with them. You better find you some cubic zirconians or something. Don't mess with the precious metals.
That's precious metals.
I'm done. I'm finished. I got no more. I'm sick. I'm tired. But this is officially it for me. He no longer exists. And when he does, he's Schmeagle.
Schmeagle.
Pinkies up. Don't do that. Okay. Anything you would like to say before I close out my show?
Yeah, I'm okay. She didn't give me no wine, so this is what happened.
What I look like, the house nigga? Get your own wine. You know where the glasses are. You know where the wine is. Why didn't you pour your own wine?
Anyway.
You didn't answer the question. You could have got. It's plenty of wine here. Why did you not?
Next time. Next time.
It's a wrap. I thought you might at least say, hey, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast.
Sure. Don't forget
follow us. See, that's why I got to do my own stuff. I can't wait till, what is it DL always says? My fresh shipment of new folks come in.
Nah,
them immigrants who were in Martha's Vineyard going to Florida, make a pit stop here in
I'm here to
LA.
stay. Okay, so don't forget to follow Don't Tell Me to Shut Up. It's on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, YouTube, Facebook, soon to be on iHeart. And follow Miss Jasmine over here. I am Jasmine Sanders on Instagram. And hear more about Schmeagle.